Okay, next we're gonna work on the weapons real quick here. So the first thing we need to do is come to this weapon here because there's some special stuff on it, and just make sure it looks like this. Take out all the extra code that we had on this one and the extra variables over here. Then you need to go to your melee base, open that up, and I ripped out all the code for this except for this part on the begin play. This part that says, and this part that says slide hands. And then we take the script that we started on the mace, and we're going to modify that and put that on the melee base. And where it changes is right here. So now one thing we need to add is we have a base damage. I have a one-handed bull and a two-handed bull. And so here's what I'm doing. I'm casting to the character. I'm getting their level. I am subtracting the 1 from their level and adding that to the base damage. Now, if it detects that the player is using the weapon two-handed, the damage is doubled. So, if you have a two-handed weapon and you're using it one-handed, you're only going to do half damage. And so this is how I have it set up. When you grip it the first time, it checks to see if it's already two-handed. If it's not, oops, that's the release. I got confused for a second. So when you grip it, first it checks to see if you're one-handed. If it's not set, then it is set for one-handed. If you are set for one-handed and you grip it a second time, then it sets it for two-handed. And then we have the opposite on the release. It checks to see is it already two-handed. If it is, then it switches it to one hand. Then if you release both it, now I have it added to the inventory when you drop the weapon. So every time you drop a weapon, it automatically adds it to the inventory. You don't even have to use the button. And if we wanted to, we could do this with all the weapons. As soon as you drop them, it adds them to the inventory. And then that way, we have this button, this used button, that we can use for other things. And you know, I was just thinking, I think we're going to do that. So from now on, to add a weapon to the inventory, you drop it, just like the wand. And then we're going to use, keep the event on used button for other things on the weapon. You feel me? So now we can have a magical wand, and instead of having to wave our hand around to cast a spell, we can have one that casts a single spell by just pressing a button. Or we could have a sword that can cast a spell by pressing a button. So that's what we're going to do with that from now on. Okay, so let's keep going on here. So now I'm still using the swinging speed to check that we're doing the damage. And right now I have this as 0.2 between hits, and I've been playing around, and I think I want to raise that to 0.5, so you can only hit every. No, I'm gonna leave that at 0.2. So, anyways, we see that we hit some sort of flesh zone. And like I said, if it's two-handed, it's double damage. And then it checks the level to gain a little bit of bonus damage. So the higher level you are, the more damage you do, which makes sense, right? So now the other thing we need to do is come to our main enemy, and you can ignore this for the moment. We're going to add a health bar, but first I want you to come down here and add armor. And then in our bad guy, when they get damaged, I changed it a little bit here. So now when they take damage, it takes the damage, and I'm subtracting 1 armor point or 1 damage for every armor point. So I set this guy up with 5 armor. You have to do at least 5 damage in order to damage this thing, because it has a shield. So I gave it 5 armor. And so this checks to make sure that you did at least enough damage and if you didn't do enough damage, it's gonna say in this damage taken thing that it was blocked. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. I've got this damage taken text up here. And right now I have it blank. But let me tell you, I'll put in a number here. And the number pops up. So right in here, if it doesn't do enough damage, it's going to say blocked. However, if it does a certain amount of damage, it's going to tell us how much damage that did. For instance, 49. And it'll pop up here. So right here, the damage taken is going to pop up here. We're going to floor the value. Excuse me. We're going to floor the value because otherwise it's going to give us a decimal out of n. But anyways, this blocked just says blocked, and this clear value is literally just nothing. It's just blank. So after 2 seconds, or this should be 2 seconds, it should go back to blank. And then let's see here. Here I just added more. I added some hit montages. So when he takes a hit, it does a little animation. And then after the animation is over, it clears it back to 0. So that's the little damage indicator. Okay. I'm not going to show you the looting next. Looting is going to be in the next video. But let's see here. What else do I need for weapons? Okay. So after we get all of that set up, then you need to come into all of your weapons. And you need to set your base damage on all your weapons. And then once you have that set up, and don't forget to set up your bad guys with their armor, let's go ahead and show off the new system. Let me just get my headset ready here. Okay, let me get rid of the recording thing. Let me see if I can go like that. There we go. That's less annoying. Okay. So, anyways, we're going over the weapons. Let me show you a two-handed weapon. So here's my spear. If I hit them with just one hand, it only does 17 damage. Now, I'm going to grab it with the other hand. And now, I'm doing twice as much damage. And see, I got that little hit reaction when they don't die. And then if I, hold on a second here. Take your guys out here. Okay, and now if I let go of my spear with one hand, it's still there. But if I let go of my other hand, it's not working. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Oh, wow, I'm stupid. Did you catch what I did? I bet you did. Can I just undo what I did? Well, that was stupid of me. Okay, so if you notice what I did, I undid my pickup function. Haha. So let's fix that real quick. Alright, we still need this part. Duh. So let's go back to fix this. On grip release. There we go. Whoopsie. So now it's going to work like I want it to. Okay. Let's try this again. Weapon. Two-handed. Yes, it does. Let go with one hand. Let go with the other. There we go. Now. There we go. Now, let me show you one more thing before we cut this video out. Oh. Well, anyways, we're going to show you real quick how to get rid of the flicker. So we're going to our our inventory widget here, and instead of having it hooked up to the tick, we're going to create this update function. So create this update event, and then your inventory add function, out from the character, oh whoops, first off go to your character, and right here where we spawn in, we're going to make this value a variable, and we're going to set this inventory menu. Then we go back here and we can pull out the inventory menu, get the options widget, do the get widget function, cast to the inventory widget, and then we can do the update when we add a new item to the inventory. And then if for some reason this cast fails, do that to the return. And then with all that set up, let's see here, then you need to go to your item widget, and then you got to do the same thing here. Whenever you click the button, get the inventory menu, option widget, get widget, cast to the inventory, and then you do the update. So every time you click on an item in your inventory, it's going to update it. And if you add an item to the inventory with the inventory still open, that's what this other part is for. So this is for if the inventory is still open. It won't update it if you have the inventory still open, unless you have this. But that will prevent, not only will it increase your performance with your inventory menu, but it will stop the flickering. That's it for that video on, oh wait, no, we're not done yet. I didn't show you the health bar. So for the health bar, where did I put it? It's right here. I made a health bar widget. It's nothing but a canvas and a health bar. Oh, I need to. I forgot how to do this part. There we go. So I just brought a progress bar out, and that's it. There's no code on this progress bar. I just made it 300 by 20. And I made it red. Not too overly complicated. And then on our enemy, we add the widget. And then here you put health bar. And then in the code, we get the widget, cast to the health bar, get the health bar, and then we're setting the percent. And then we put in our health, divide it by our health max, and then that gives us the percent. And you can do this as a binding too. Actually, no, you can't. You can't do this as a binding. You have to do this on the character itself. And then that's gonna put a health bar up for all of our guys. Now I'm ready to show you. Okay. Well, I guess I already showed you. Yeah, you know, this is what the health bar is. This Jesse was all over the place. The game's a lot more fun though, no? Let me tell you that. So notice when they die, notice that when the bad guys die, right here, I make a widget invisible when they die, so it's not sitting there floating and in the way. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I finally got these chests working for loot.